Hello, everybody. I chose to write my presentation, my hot topic presentation, on the current crisis that is going on inside of Russia and Ukraine. It's kind of just an update to everybody because it's not talked about as much, or at least it's not as present with what's going on in India and Pakistan. I chose to write on the article Ukraine. European leaders in Kiev urge Moscow to agree to unconditional ceasefire. This was written by the CBC News, or a Canadian news network, as we could not choose a network that is used inside of the United States. Some of the major topics of my article were the 30-day ceasefire that was offered to Russia from both the United States and Ukraine. This ceasefire would actually start Monday, the 12th of May, and it would last, like I said, 30 days as kind of like a contingency to the 80-year period since the end of World War II, or Victory Day is what's commonly called in the United States, just victory in Europe. Peace talks and offerings between each of the countries would mostly be between, obviously, the United States, President Putin and President Zelensky, with a couple of other larger European countries being at the talks for peace as well. Poland, the United Kingdom, France, and Germany being some of the more notable ones, Poland being closer, and then the other three being considered the other powers of Europe. On a side note, and a more sad note of the war in Russia, the 1,600-kilometer front line of both the countries, just the full-on assault of Russia has not stopped at all. It's actually been ramping up, including more strikes inside of more of the Ukrainian residential areas, mostly being close to the border, but just over the Donbass region. The drone strikes have been ramping up more so recently in the war as well, just overall. Trump has came out with a statement as well that says that the war is not going to end anytime soon. Russia has not seemed to join any of their peace conferences or talking, and he says that he wants to do what's best for Russia, which is pushing through with the war and getting everything that he wants. He has declined the last couple of ceasefiring opportunities that both the United States and Ukraine has sent them, and has not accepted any of either country's terms and conditions for the war. I personally believe, and the CBC also says, that he just doesn't want the war to end. It's best for his country and best to keep pushing, most likely because he's went so far with this war now. Some key concepts relating towards our class intercultural communication has just been kind of the communication between both parties, obviously being Russia and Ukraine, and just how the pieces kind of went back and forth and not really found any type of agreement, any ceasefire. It's just been full-on assault now for a while in the war, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down even with the concurrent peace talks. Culture has also played a role in both countries. Ukraine sees itself now as an independent country and far from what Russia and Ukraine were when they were a country together, from the Soviet Union all the way into the 1400s of the Kievan Russo Empire. So the cultures have slowly separated themselves as well, which is most likely why this war won't end in a more peaceful manner. And the last major concept that I believe is playing a huge role inside of this war is just the sender and receiver, as politicians are sending and receiving information back and forth to the people of the countries, and how that has been affecting it as well, like with how the people are hearing their sides of the war, but maybe not the full grasp for both of the countries. So the citizens might not know the entire extent, and this is happening on both the Russian and the Ukrainian side of the battlefield. So But all in all, in conclusion, I think that this war is far from over, and I don't think that there will be peace made anytime soon within the next couple of months, maybe not even the next while. And that is sort of the update we've had, as none of the countries are seemingly edging closer towards a ceasefire or the end of the war without getting the way that they want. Thank you all for listening.